Hi, my name is Oliver Mosher, and this is my project on lactose intolerance, a creamy conundrum. Um, it is about the enzyme lactase, which is used in the breakdown of lactose in the body. Um, so, lactose intolerance is a dietary condition in which the body has a deficiency in the enzyme lactase, which can lead to a number of digestive issues after consuming products that contain lactose, primarily dairy. And a lot of these symptoms can range from like diarrhea and flatulence and bloating. Uh, it was first discovered by physicians Hippocrates and Galen, who were like some of the very early Greek physicians, philosophers, etc. And they noticed there was a relationship between having some of these issues uh, previously said and consuming dairy, and like after the fact. And however, despite very early nature of the identification of the correlation of these dietary issues, actual understanding of the mechanisms behind it have been relatively recent in the last 50 years. So figure one actually shows this breakdown of lactose by lactase, which we will delve more into later. So in terms of the location, lactase is created in the cells on the walls of the small intestine. So in terms of where the small intestine is, that is in the abdominal cavity of the body and occurs after the stomach and before the large intestine in the digestive tract. However, increased tolerance to lactose from those suffering from the condition has been marked by the large intestine, which is also commonly known as the colon, adapting as opposed to the small intestine. So the small intestine is where lactase is created. However, better tolerance to these negative symptoms of lactose intolerance actually recently has been researched, is been if people who have the condition who repeatedly consume dairy products have a better tolerance because their colon is able to adapt, because that's where where the lactose that's been not broken down is just sort of fermenting. So in terms of protein pedigree, not much to explain there. Corresponding amino acids. So theoretical PL/MW, there's a sequence for that. So in terms of figure 2, that shows the secondary structure of lactase. So that lactase contains numerous fold domains, which include alpha helices and beta sheets and coils, which is shown on figure 2 right above it. And figure 3 to the right shows the molecular diagram for lactose, which is very important for enzyme details. So it starts off mechanism. For the mechanism, it's lactose and H2O, then beta degalactose and D-glucose. So substrates, it's acting on lactose, and that's also shown in figure 3. In terms of coenzymes, it doesn't need anything. For the inhibitors, those include glucose, galactose, and fructose. And in terms of regulation, lactase is regulated by the genes UBX4 and MCM6, which can lead to lactose intolerance. The KMK-CAT is 42. And then, so in terms of the mechanism, it's shown on figure 4, and that shows that. So on 1 is the regular breakdown of lactose by lactase, and on the right it shows for 2 it displays how lactose can lead to indigestion as it remains in the digestive tract, as it eventually reaches the colon right after the small intestine. Colon is also the large intestine, where it ferments and leads to the notable symptoms of lactose intolerance, which are bloating, flatulence, and diarrhea. And figure 5 shows the molecular structure of beta-D-galactose. So in terms of treatments, avoiding dairy is most common, but also treatments such as Lactaid are commonly available. Developing treatments, some studies show that milk containing only A2 beta casein as opposed to A1 and A2, which is casein, which is the protein in milk, has shown reduced symptoms and digestive inflammation with those suffering from lactose intolerance. And probiotics, Bifidobacterium longum and Lactobacillus rhamnosus, as well as vitamin B6, have been shown to lead to reduced inflammation in those with lactose intolerance. Future research, there are claims that raw unpasteurized milk reduces symptoms of lactose intolerance, but in a small pilot study, it sort of failed to show any difference, but future research is required because it was just a small pilot study. And Figure 6 shows an overview of the casein study. And here are my sources. Thank you.